Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 to the reasons why a piercer may not pierce you. But before I get into the video, I would like to give a quick thank you to our sponsor today, and that is Hunter Killer, and they are a murder mystery subscription box. So I think this is such a cool concept because I'm a big board game lover, and I think if you're a lover of games in general, whether it's video games or board games, or even like role-playing games, I think you would really love this because it's sort of a combination between like board games slash role-playing games and also escape rooms, and then also kind of just like live experiences. Say for instance, you're really into doing like activities and fun like experiences with your friends. This is like a really cool idea for that if you ever want to do something that's like at home, cozy, but like not just sitting on the couch and watching TV or sitting in bed watching TV. I found this like super fun and actually quite challenging in a good way. If you like to challenge yourself and you like to figure out like puzzles, and on top of that, if you're a big fan of murder mysteries and serial killers, then this is definitely the box for you. And it's super unique. It's not like anything I've seen before. It's got all these parts that like build the story. And it's almost like you get little props. So for instance, you get like documents from a police investigation. They look like legit. The paper they're on is like super legit. Like everything feels authentic. So make sure you head to hunterkiller.com/thelegitcreep and be sure to use my code thelegitcreep for 20% off. Now let's begin the video. I previously spoke about a whole bunch of reasons why we may not do it, and the list just went on and on. So I put the second half into this video because there's just a lot to think about when going in to get a piercing, and it's not just, hey, let's do your piercing today. There are many reasons why we have to turn you away. It's not because we want to, it's not because we don't like you or any reason to do with that. And if that happens to be a reason, then like run away from those people because they are bastards and they shouldn't just not be doing your piercing for the sake of that. But there are serious reasons why we can't do it, and reasons that can affect your piercing in the long run or in the short term as well. We want your piercing to be perfect. We don't want it to fuck up. So these are some of the reasons why we may choose not to do a piercing. Now, another reason we may turn you away or not do a piercing is if that particular area of the body has had a lot of migration and rejection in the past. So potentially you've had it done however many times you tell us, or we have even done this piercing prior and it rejected then. If the piercer you're going back to did the last one, generally they can have a look and tell if it's going to migrate again. Generally the case is that it will migrate again, and that's just how it's going to keep happening. So no matter how many times you get it, your body is just not going to be okay with it. It's just like, bye-bye, get the hell out of my body. I do not like you. Stop it, I do not like it. I'm getting the hell out of here. I hate your body, is basically what it says. And personally, when I was younger, I wish I would have known this because I have had my navel pierced so many times and I have some heckers scarring. I mean, it's not as crazy as some other scarring that I've seen, but I've got scarring on both the top and bottom navel because I just kept doing it because I was like, it's gonna work this time. And then I'd get piercers telling me, no, that scar tissue is amazing. That's exactly what we want because we'll pierce behind it and the jewelry will not migrate out further past that scar. And it had happened to me many times. Now, sometimes that does work. Like you can pierce just behind a scar and the scar sort of is strong and can hold the jewelry in there, but not when you'd had it 3 times before. Like my body is pushing through that scarring. It don't give a fuck. It does not listen to scarring. It doesn't listen to anybody. It does what it wants and it wants out. Now, going on from that, if scarring is quite heavy and intense and thick in a particular area and someone is wanting to get that area or an area close to it pierced, it really needs to be assessed well because we don't want to just be piercing through scar tissue. Not that it can't be done. It certainly can. However, it just depends on the severity of the scarring and whether it is going to cause further issues, cause further scarring, and potentially turn into worse scarring, which we really don't want to see. So when we're looking at scarring, we're looking at the risks that are involved with it and whether the person's happy to go ahead with it and whether us as the piercer is happy to as well, whether we think that it is going to work and the piercing isn't going to migrate, isn't going to cause further issues to that scarred area. Now, obviously I've spoken about this recently, and that is keloid scarring as well. If we can see someone has keloid scarring, or if they have marked off on their consent form that they do have a history or they have had keloid scarring in the past, we will really need to talk to them and assess whether it is going to be wise to go ahead with a piercing, because we don't want to scar people like that. It causes pain and itching and uncomfortability like 24/7. We don't want to bring pain and uncomfortability to someone's life. So that's really something that we will look at and talk to the person about, and we'll see if we can and cannot do it. With a lot of these, it really comes down to the assessment of the piercing and whether we as the piercer can see that it will go ahead and won't cause further issues, and the piercing will be able to heal happily and healthily. And if we don't think that's the case, we won't go ahead with it. And the same with the person who's getting pierced. They need to understand the healing, understand what's going to happen, understand how to take care of the piercing. Otherwise, they might not be confident in getting this piercing because they need to know what they're in for. Now, another reason is because you may have too many unhealed piercings. If we see like tons and tons of unhealed piercings that potentially look infected, potentially have lots of hypertrophic scars on them, just are irritated and red and sore, and you can see that, how do you think your body is going to go healing another piercing when it can't even heal the others? Now, you will see this happen, and it's generally someone who's got lots of piercings. So it is a good thing to sit them down and have a talk to them about like what they're doing, whether they think they can actually handle this piercing, and whether this piercing is going to get looked after correctly. Now, I'm not saying people who have lots of piercings and they're irritated don't look after their piercings. I understand that some piercings just take so long to heal, and that can be the cause of the issues. However, we don't want to add another piercing to the already like drama fest that's going on and in your body. Like, your body's having a freak out. Your immune system clearly isn't coping with like healing these piercings. So we don't want to cause more drama. I mean, some places will just do it and just pump you through. I think it's always good to sit the person down, have a discussion with them, like just let them know that like it's probably not the best idea, not make them feel uncomfortable or like they're dirty or their piercings are gross or anything like that. Like, that's not what we're thinking. We're going, they're just not healing, they need some help. We might help that person along with some different jewelry, some different care. So whatever they're using to clean it or to help to get it out of that state, we might give them some information, or they could even buy some products. Whatever it is, we want to help. We don't want to cause more problems. So yeah, no one's trying to like turn you away, but I mean, sometimes that will happen and the person will clearly just go somewhere else and get it from somewhere that will just do it. All we're trying to do is the right thing. Obviously, we want the person's business too, but like, we're just trying to do it in the right manner rather than just being like, yep, come on in. I can see every piercing in your ear is not healed and you've got like 6, but sure, let's continue to pump them through. Some people get mad about that because they want their piercing and you're going to give it to them, or they're just going to go somewhere else that will do it. And it's like, okay, get the shitty care from the place that will just use you for your money. Another reason people may get turned away or we will not pierce you is because you want to get pierced with your own jewelry. Now, you may have found some amazing jewelry from a different studio or even just from an online seller, whatever it is. Your jewelry could be really high quality, but we can't guarantee that. Not only can we not guarantee that, we can't guarantee that your jewelry will not be ruined in the autoclave. Now, the thing is, your jewelry has to be autoclaved in order to get pierced with that jewelry. And because it's come from a different seller, we don't know where it's come from. We can't guarantee the standard of the jewelry. It could go into our autoclave, and what can happen is it can melt. And this is because you could tell us that or you could even have been told that it is one type of jewelry when it is really a different type of jewelry, and all different kinds of jewelry needs to go in the autoclave at different temperatures. And this is where you can see jewelry melt, you can see jewelry get discolored. Basically, it can tarnish and ruin your jewelry, and then people get very, very mad. And that's why studios won't do it. We're happy that you love a particular type of jewelry, but just wait until the piercing is healed to have that jewelry. Because every single studio knows the standard of the jewelry that they're using, but we don't know the standard of everything else that's out there. I mean, we can look at it and we can assess it, but we cannot guarantee. And if we were to ruin your jewelry, it's happened in the past and people are never happy, which is understandable. But like, don't try and get us to pierce you with someone else's jewelry. Not only that, but we also don't know how that particular jewelry is going to behave in the body. So whether your body's going to have irritations from it, whether it's going to cause healing to be a nightmare, whether because it isn't high standard, it can tarnish, turn green, cause infection, and so many other problems, it's a nightmare, and we would just rather not have that. Always recommend going with an internally threaded titanium. That is what you should start off with, and then put whatever you want in afterwards. I mean, you shouldn't wear whatever you want constantly, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to be wearing dodgy jewelry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like down below and subscribe to my channel if you are new here, and I will be back very soon.